topic is called Word Problem Involving US Customary Length Conversions Using Dimensional Analysis. So they call it dimensional analysis is because we're going to just be looking at the dimensions first before we do like figuring with numbers. So the dimensions in this case are feet and yards, miles, inches, and then flags. So what we're going to do is we focus just on the dimensions first. So I'm not even going to write any numbers in. We have here miles per one, which is just miles. That's the only dimension we're looking at. So we need to get miles all the way to where we want flag. And if you look here, flags go with yards. So this will be the last one we're going to use because flags needs to be in the numerator. It's like flags over one. So that'll be the last one that we're going to put in. So where you need to go from miles, probably we're going to get, let's see, smaller. So we'll go, if you look at the ratios that they give us, they have miles and feet go together. So we're going to go from miles to feet, and then we're going to go from feet to yards, and then we'll go from yards to flags. So we'll pick one of these two, and then we'll pick one of those two, and then we'll pick, well, we already know we're going to pick this one as last. Okay, so here's how you set this up. We want to change miles to feet. So that means we need to be able to cancel the miles. Just like if you had numbers here, if you had miles in the denominator and feet in the numerator, that would allow you to cancel the miles. So right now, what we're left with is feet. So our first one will be the one that has feet in the numerator and miles in the denominator. So this is going to be our first one. We'll type that in right there. We already know that's our last one. Okay, so then we're going to change from feet to yards. So we want to make sure that we can cancel the feet and we want to have yards in the numerator. So when we cancel feet, you'll notice now we just have yards in the numerator. So we're going to want to pick this one for the second one because that has yards in the numerator, feet in the denominator. And then the last one, which we already talked about, we want flags in the end, and we want yards to be able to cancel. So that will be our last one. So now what we do is we just type in those ratios, and then I'll teach you how to kind of do the numbers so that you can figure out how many flags it is. So we'll type that first one, 5 tomatoes is what I say, 5280 feet is in 1 mile. So 5 tomatoes, feet in 1 mile, 5280. P.S. Please subscribe to my channel and then like any videos that you find helpful. Thank you. And the last one, 1 flag. Oops, wait a minute, I forgot this, which means I have to come over here. 1 flag, 275 yards. There we go. Now for the number part, so we're going to use our calculator, and I ignore ones because when you're multiplying by 1, you just get the same thing. So I just ignore them. In the numerator, we multiply all the numbers in the numerator together. So 5,280 times 10 is 52,800. And then we divide by 3 times 275 because those are in the denominator. So we have 52,800 divided by 3 times. Now I put, if I'm using my calculator, I put 3 times 275 in parentheses so that when it's in my denominator, it will multiply them together before it divides it into the 52,800. So I got 64 flags. So we'll type 64. Okay, so let's do another practice. So remember what you want to do is just focus on the labels first. So we're start with laps. Okay, so we have laps. Look at the ratio. See how they have lap is with yards. So that's the second group. So we're going to change laps to yards. We just want to make sure that yards is in the numerator and laps is in the denominator. Okay, so that will be this one. That will be our first one. Then let's see, these cancel. Now we're going to want yards in the denominator. And what are we changing yards to? So if you look, yards is with feet. So we'll change that to feet, 3 feet in 1 yard goes right there. The yards will cancel. Then we look at the last one. We need feet to cancel, and it looks like we want miles in the end. So we'll use the ratio that has feet in the denominator. There we go. That'll be the last one. Boom. Okay, so these will cancel. We're left with miles, which is what we want. Now we can kind of ignore the labels and just type in what we have so far. Okay, so our first one is 1,600 yards and 1 lap. PS, you could put these in any order, and I think you'd still get it right because um, you're multiplying, and so you can switch order by the commutative property, but we'll just go ahead and put it in this order. Maybe the last one I do, we'll try switching it and see what they do. Wait, yeah, 52, 88. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to do our multiplying. So everything that's in the numerator, like the numbers that are not one, we're going to multiply. So 16.5 times 1,600 times 3. And then we divide by 5,280 and we get 15. So this is going to be 15. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's do one more and try to like we'll put them out of order, see what happens. Okay, so it looks like yards goes with feet, and we want yards in the denominator so we can cancel. So we want this one. Now we have feet. Here, let's just write this real quick. Okay, we have feet, so we want feet in the denominator and inches in the numerator. Boom, boom. And then we're going to want inches in the denominator and studs. There we go. Boom. Okay, so we got the 3 circled that we want. So let's just do them this way. We'll do 1 stud in 15 inches. We'll do the 12 inches in 1 foot. And then we'll do 3 feet in 1 yard. Boom. So we're going to do 17.5 times 12 times 3, or 17.5 times, I know 12 times 3 is 36. Then we'll divide by 15 and we get 42. So we should have 42 for our studs. Boom. So that told us it doesn't matter what order you put them in as long as you have the 3 correct ones. So that's the end of the lesson.